Hi, Chemistry 102. I just want to go over the syllabus with you very quickly. I expect you to read the entire syllabus on your own time, but I just want to go over the fact that historically Chemistry 102 has been taught exclusively as a face-to-face course, but this fall semester, on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, the course will be taught as a hybrid, and that lectures will be completely online, whereas labs are going to take place face-to-face at the Rampart Range campus, and that's going to be on Monday nights from 7:30 to 9:20. Another change from other semesters is that we're going to be using what's called Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor for exams, and you can read all about that at the end of the syllabus. So our lecture days are Mondays and Wednesdays from 5:30 to 7:20 p.m. And the way that we're going to do the lectures is that some of them will be held live on Microsoft Teams. And in order to access our Microsoft Teams page, all you have to do is click on the link which is provided in the syllabus, and then I will accept you into the classes page so that you can access that. But some lectures are not going to be held on Microsoft Teams. They will be posted as YouTube videos, and I will provide the links for those on D2L. In fact, I have all of the lectures for this class. Every single one of them has already been pre-recorded and set up on my YouTube channel. So it's a good way for you to get ahead if you want to get ahead and watch some of the videos early. The lab day is Monday, and the lab time is from 7:30 to 9:20 p.m. And you can see the problem that this poses, because if lecture ends at 7:20 and I'm doing the lecture from my house on Microsoft Teams, there's no way I can get to the lab in 10 minutes. I don't live that close to the Rampart Range campus, and that's why we're going to do some of the lectures live, whereas some of them will be posted exclusively as YouTube videos. The lab at the Rampart Range campus is found in room W213. Here's my contact information. Here's my email. Next, we have some important dates like the drop date and the withdrawal date. Also, the holidays are shown in here. Of course, you're going to need a textbook for Chemistry 102, and the textbook that we're using is General Organic and Biological Chemistry. We're using the 10th edition by Catherine Deniston. You can use a 9th or an 8th edition, no problem. It might not sync up exactly with the 10th edition, but it will be close enough that it will be fine. You'll also need a lab manual, which is General Organic and Biological Chemistry Laboratory Experiments by Neely, and that can be purchased in the bookstore at the Rampart Range campus or at the Centennial campus. You're going to have a reliable internet connection in order to watch the pre-recorded videos as well as participate in Microsoft Teams lectures. And then, of course, like any chemistry class on the planet Earth, you've got to have laboratory goggles or some kind of safety glasses that are approved. And you can ask me about that in the lab if you want to know if your safety glasses fit the bill. All the slides for the course and announcements and other important files can be accessed through the PPCC portal, and then you go into D2L, and I'm going to show you that in a second. The assignment grades for Chemistry 102 are shown right here. We have 5 exams. I take the best 4 to 5. That makes up 50% of your grade. I take the best 11 of 12 labs, and that makes up 25% of your grade. Then we have quizzes, which is essentially your homework, and those are found on D2L, which is worth 10%. And then the final exam is 15%, which adds up to a total of 100%. The next 2 pages of the syllabus are probably the most important for everybody involved in this class, in that this is the schedule for lecture. So we have the date, we have the week, we have the lecture topics, and then we have the homework that is due. And so you can see that our first lecture is going to be on August 24th, and that's going to cover the course introduction. And we're also going to start looking at Chapter 10, the saturated hydrocarbons. So if you have a copy of the textbook, you might want to get started on that right away. Something that I'll point out are the homework due dates. So I have here homework 10 is due on August 26th. What you have to do, you see that I put an asterisk here, and the reason I did that is because you have to look in D2L to see the official homework due date. So when you go into D2L, you'll see the exact date because some of the dates didn't fall exactly on the dates that are listed on the syllabus here. What else? You can see that your first exam is coming up on September 14th, and that's going to cover chapters 10 and chapters 11. We do have one lecture on chapter 12 before exam 1, but none of that material will be on exam 1. So again, exam 1 is only on chapters 10 and 11. All right, what else? You can also see that I have written here in dark black letters, I have Synchronous Lecture written here a few different times. You can see it here and here. And what that means is that these are lectures that will be held on Microsoft Teams live. So you'll have to, sign into Microsoft Teams for that, and we'll do the lectures live. And you can see that all of these are on Wednesdays. And the reason why is because we don't have lab on those days. So we can take up the whole 1 hour and 50 minutes for our synchronous lectures. The next page is the lab schedule. I would recommend printing a copy of this out as well as the lecture schedule. And you can see that we're going to have to split the labs up into Group A and Group B. Group A, if your surname begins with the letter A up to GA, you're going to be in Group A. And if your surname begins with GO up to Z, you're going to be in Group B. So let's say your last name started with the letter B. Well, B falls in between A and GA, and so your first lab would be on August 24th. Let's say your last name begins with the letter S, okay? Let's say your last name is Smith. Well, then you'd be in Group B, and your first lab day would be August 31st. I'll just summarize some of the rest of the syllabus. How to be successful in Chemistry 102. The first thing would be to attend every class. Now, we're not going to have synchronous lectures for every class, so instead of attending every class, I would say attend every class and be sure to watch all of the YouTube videos that are posted that deal with all of the course content. Be sure to keep up with all your lab reports, your quizzes, and the lecture videos in order to stay on top of everything. At the end of every chapter in our textbook, there are some really excellent resources like the chapter map, the summary of reactions, and the chapter summary. These are a great quick reference to all of the concepts that are covered in each chapter. Also, I post textbook problems that are just suggested problems from the book, and I post those on D2L, and I would recommend doing all of those, not 50% or 90%. I would recommend doing 100% of those problems. A little bit more about exams. So we're going to have 5 exams. These will all be taken using Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor. You can find all of the instructions for Respondus at the end of the syllabus. And I'll also post some practice exams which will require Respondus so that you'll get some experience with it before you write your first exam. What else? The homework assignments. The homework is actually under the quizzes tab in D2L. There's no tab that says homework. There's only a tab that says quizzes. And so I put those under the quizzes tab. What else? The syllabus may be adjusted during the semester, especially on account of the pandemic. We don't know what's going to happen over the next few months. So keep an eye out for that. Also, we cover chapters 10 through 23 of the textbook. We do not cover chapter 20. And you can see the letter grade that will result from your overall percentage that you get at the end of the course. I have a big part here in the syllabus all about lab procedures, but I'm going to go over that with you in the lab. And then again, the last part of the syllabus, and I'll expect you to read this ahead of time, and there's a YouTube video you can watch as well. And this deals with the instructions for Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor, which we're going to be using for our exams this fall semester. Here's our course's D2L page. This is what it should look like when you log in. You can see at the top we have the course home, content, assignments, so on and so forth. You can see down here in announcements, the announcement that I posted for the first day of class. It provides the link to Microsoft Teams. So if you click on the hyperlink here, it says, this is just a reminder that we have lecture on Monday, August 24th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. on Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to click that, and that will take me to our Microsoft Teams page. Now, it might not do that for you, but it will send an invitation to me, and I will accept you into our course on Microsoft Teams. Next, it says it would be a good idea to read Chapter 10 in the textbook as soon as possible and watch the Chapter 10 videos and start doing some practice problems. If you click on the hyperlink for the practice problems, it opens up the numbers of the suggested practice problems from the textbook. But if you click on the link that says Chapter 10 videos, so I'll do that now, it will take you to a playlist that goes over all of the content in Chapter 10. Hi, Chemistry 102. This video is just a quick introduction to some of the concepts. I'm going to spare you all of that right now, but now you know it's there. And then also I have a hyperlink to the syllabus and schedule as well. Let me show you which ones of these tabs at the top are useful. The course home, that just brings you to the course home. The next one is the content. That's where you find things like the syllabus and schedule, which are posted in here. All of the lecture slides. So I go over all of the lecture slides, or I follow them very carefully when I lecture. And so they're all there. The laboratory rules and regulations are in there as well as some other files like a periodic table and the suggested practice problems from the 10th edition of the textbook or the 9th edition if you want to use an older version of the textbook. The next important tab is the quizzes tab. If you click on that, you can see the homework assignments down here, like homework 10, which is due on August 31st, homework 11, so on and so forth. And you can see that you have 2 attempts for each one of these homework assignments. You're also going to be able to find your exams under quizzes as well once I put them there. And so there you have it. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you on August 24th on Microsoft Teams at 5:30 p.m. And if your name falls under A to GA, I'll see you in the lab on August 24th at 7:30 p.m. And if your name falls under GO to the letter Z, I will see you in the lab on August 31st.